Lagosians, 720,000. 970,000.
Over 1 million Lagosians, they know that if you give me your afternoon, I will give you hard facts.
Well done, Sandra, on all you do, going beyond the headlines and focusing on the facts.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. 1 million Lagosians cannot be wrong. Thank you for tuning in alongside them for today's edition of Hard Facts. I've got a great show for you. We'll start with the Big Three Global Edition. Let's talk about NIMC officials arrested for giving NINs to Nigerians in Niger Republic. Then let's talk about the flooding across Nigeria. And then let's talk about the fall of Liz Truss. At 4 o'clock, we'll be here with Public Square. After that, music and moments with Ifeanyi and Sam. Expect news, business and sports at the top of the hour, every hour. But for right now, let's get started with today's Big Three Global Edition, Lagos. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. And
Big Three Global Edition on Hard Facts.
All right, Lagos, I've got questions for you. How did allegedly fake NIMC officials get their hands on a real NIN registration machine? Allegedly fake NIMC officials, how did they get their hands on a real NIN registration machine? Why won't the federal government declare a state of emergency on the flood? Can the Conservative Party keep control in the UK? Those are your Big Three Global Edition, Lagos. Let's talk. Now, you know that every Friday we let Nigerian stories rest and we take a look at what's happening in other parts of the world, even though sometimes the biggest story in the world are Nigerian stories, which is why two of our stories on today's Big Three Global Edition have Nigerian, heavy Nigerian leanings. Now, our first global story is a Nigerian story. The army arrested two people for allegedly giving NINs to Nigerians to Nigerians in Niger Republic. Defense HQ says the two people were pretending to be NIMC staff and they were registering people in an IDP camp in Niger. The statement says, quote, on October 13, 2022, troops in conjunction with the Nigeria police and NIS operatives intercepted two suspected fake National Identity Management Commission officials. It was revealed that the suspects had visited Gagamari IDP camp in Niger Republic to register non-Nigerians in the IDP camp. Items recovered from the suspects include National Identification Number Registration Machine, printing machine, laminating machine, a computer tracking machine, and a generator set, among other items. End quote. Lagos, the army is saying that the suspects are not actual NIMC staff. And that's why some people are now saying you can't blame NIMC for this. After all, nobody their staff. But here's my question. How did fake NIMC staff get their hands on real NIN registration machines? Those machines are what you call sensitive materials. Before you can take them out into the field, someone inside NIMC has to sign off. So who signed off? Who is the person inside NIMC who allowed non-staff to take those machines away? And it gets worse because we have to ask, is this the first time? How often has this been happening? How many other times have so-called non-staff been able to take registration machines out of a NIMC office and go to another country to register people? Now, I have to clarify something, right? It is not wrong for non-Nigerians to have an NIN. That's not the problem. Because remember, when NIN was happening, we were told by the NIMC office and by Pantami that the NIN registration will be for both Nigerians and non-Nigerians. When I went to Qatar, I had to get a resident number as well, like a registration ID as well, right? But I had to be in Qatar for it to matter. As long as those non-Nigerians live in Nigeria, they should have an NIN. The problem in this story is that these particular foreigners are not living in Nigeria. They live in Niger. These fake NIMC officials went to Niger to register them with real NIMC registration machines. Now, the matter way on ground be that too. So let's talk. Lagos. Does NIMC have a case to answer here? Does this breach mean that we need a deeper audit into NIMC's operations? And what about its records? Can Nigerians trust NIMC's database of NIN holders, given that we now have at least one case of non-resident, non-citizens being registered outside the country? Women, call us on 01465 7190. 01465 7190. Men, call us on 0700 993 993 993. You can share your thoughts via WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. Those of you who are listening from the abroad, kindly give us a call over Skype. Skype is Nigeria Info FM. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming live on Facebook. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. I'm going to be showing you some videos later on the show today, so it's a good day to stream Hard Facts. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and yes, this is Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for calling. What's your name? Sorry about that. Give us a call back if you can. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Evans calling from Lakwe.
Evans from Lakwe. Welcome. Go ahead.
This is the issue of non-Nigerians registering non-NIMC staff registering non-Nigerians. Somebody from the NIMC office, a top official, is involved in that.
Okay.
That we go out of that office with somebody who is in charge of that, releasing it. Maybe he must have taken something from them. I don't even know if they must take something from them in order for him or her to approve such. Somebody from the NIMC office is involved. They should investigate them more.
All right, investigate. The NIMC itself needs to conduct investigation in-house, he says. 99.3, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for calling. What's your name, sir?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sandra.
Yes.
Sandra, I'm right?
Yes, you're right. Sandra, what's your name?
How is everything? How is work?
Work is fine. What's your name, sir?
I'm always a listener.
Okay.
I always listen to your program.
I'm glad.
You are doing excellency.
Thank you.
Well, having said this, or having said that, based on your question is what I want to respond to. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
You see, nothing happens ordinarily. There must be a cause.
Okay.
Somebody must have caused it. You said how can the machine get to the non-staff hand? Somebody who is in charge of authority, if you do otherwise, who will question the person? Are you hearing me?
I'm with you. I'm listening, yes.
Somebody who is in charge of control, and you do otherwise, who else will not question the person?
Right.
Even when you know, because you have no capacity, you have no ability to question him, what will you do? You keep quiet, because when you do, you will be sanctioned. If he wanted to kill you, he will kill you because you have shown you want to contest with him. Who are you? So if you are asking that way, we know now. We know nothing. The problem we are having in this country, the people we put in position, first and foremost, they don't have fear of God. So how can they do it right?
All right. Thanks for calling. We've got Christopher on the line. Hi, Christopher.
Yeah, my able president.
Good to have you on the show.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
These two people they arrested,
Hmm.
before now, they didn't question them. How did they get this machine that we are looking for? We are asking ourselves, how did they get this machine? Hello, President Sandra.
I'm here. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Up to now, they never asked them, and those guys never confessed. This thing has been going on for long. You see, between now and that next year, February, a lot of things will happen. But with INEC, I still believe on Professor Yakubu. I still believe in him. I want him to stand his feet because these people will play a lot of games. This Koniman die while human bury him. They want to do such thing before, but by God's grace, they will not succeed. How can in Niger, two machines just have a leg and walk out of the office without anybody knowing? They should squeeze those guys. They will mention who are who. But the funny thing, President Sandra, you know what? You know that they are normal red carpet, right?
What
they
red
will keep
carpet?
it under the red carpet. You will not hear anything anymore.
Thanks for calling. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
My name is Ekaite.
Ekaite, welcome.
Yes, this fake NYC.
NIMC. NIMC.
Okay, NIMC.
Mm.
Okay. See, this country, what Nigeria cannot produce, it doesn't exist.
Okay. Hello, Ekaite. We have lost the connection to her. If you just tuned in, our first global story is a Nigerian story. The army arrested 2 people for allegedly giving NINs to Nigerians in Niger Republic. Defense HQ says the 2 people were pretending to be NIMC staff. They were registering people in an IDP camp in Niger. They said that these people had NIMC NIMC machines, NIM machines, the registration machines, that is. They had printing machines, they had laminating machines, they had a computer tracking machine, they had a generator, among other items. And the army is saying that these people are not actual NIMC staff, but they had all of these machines from NIMC. So some people are saying, well, you can't blame NIMC for this. But my question is, how did fake NIMC staff get their hands on real NIN registration machines? Because like I said before, these are what you would call sensitive materials. Who signed them out? Before you can take these kinds of materials into the field, someone has to approve. Who approved? Who allowed non-staff take these machines away? Is this the first time? How often has this been happening? How many other times have so-called non-staff been able to take registration machines out of a NIMC office and go to another country to register people? And like I said, non-Nigerians can have NIN. That's not illegal. That's not wrong. If you're not a Nigerian, you can have NIN as long as you live in Nigeria. The problem with this story, these foreigners don't live in Nigeria. This registration happened outside the country. Non-citizens being registered in their own country. Does NIMC have a case to answer here? Does this breach mean that we need to do a deeper audit into NIMC's operations? Can we trust NIMC's database of NIN holders, given that we now have at least one case of non-resident, non-citizens being registered outside the country? Women call me on 014657190. Men call me on 0700-993-993-993. If you live abroad, we've got Skype available for you. So let's hear your thoughts over Skype. Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Hello. Thank you for calling us. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for calling. What's your name, ma'am?
Okay, my name is Obianuju. Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Obianuju.
I'm not surprised at what I'm hearing now.
Okay.
Oh
honestly,
Okay.
I've met some foreigners from that same Niger about some time ago, like 2 months ago.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So the guy was with this NIN card that we were struggling to get. Sorry, voters card actually.
Voters card.
Struggling to get here in Nigeria. You understand?
He had PVC.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay, so when someone wanted to see the card, they always come to buy from Alaba, buy things, electronics and all that.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So he refused this guy from seeing it. He said they are registering them. And this thing he's holding is a lot of money.
Wow. Woo. Okay.
You understand that they paid him a lot of money to get this card. So he can't see it. And we're like, so you have it, but we Nigerians, we don't have.
So you're talking about PVC now. You have a non-Nigerian with a PVC. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay. Now, I don't know what the laws are with non-Nigerians having PVCs if they are resident in Nigeria. I know that in some countries, if you're a resident in that country, you're eligible to vote. But I'm not sure what the voting laws in Nigeria says about residents here who are residents here and their eligibility to vote. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm not sure, so I can't comment on that particular story. But it's quite interesting, isn't it? 99.3, hello.
Sandra, sorry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, Kingsley from Ikodu.
Welcome, Kingsley.
Sandra, welcome, Jerry. I've been trying to tell you welcome. You're stingy. You give Frank, what do you buy for Frank? And
chocolate.
You said chocolate, thank you. You remember.
I bought for you now.
To pick my call to tell you welcome, you cannot.
I'll pick it now.
My mom is. No problem.
I'll pick it now. I'll pick it now.
I'm fine. No problem. I'm not jealous again. You are good to go.
Okay.
Sandra.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I don't know how we get to this level, but we, the citizens, we need to take our country back, as we said. We can't live for this kind of life forever. I think when you narrated what you saw and with Avan, a former.
Former, yeah.
So yes. I was tense yesterday, but I couldn't get your people. But it's okay. Can you imagine a whole NIMC machine that produce to do something in Nigeria? Just develop leg, as Frank said, and walk down to Niger. Sandra, I don't think that this can happen. Even common Africa, no, the African countries are not common. Some of African countries cannot take it, Sandra. But I don't know. What I know is that it's just 3 months gap. So let's see what we can do, because I think every corner and everywhere, Sandra, is not something we can contain now. But for the those people that are ravaging in floods, I think may God have mercy on them. That's what I'm saying to you.
Thank you very much for calling us. Okay, so I'm doing research now, and in most countries, non-citizens cannot vote. In most countries, voting is by default for citizens only, not foreign residents. So if what that lady called in to say is true, then I'm very worried. But I'm going to need to see proof. So if there's a way to, record this Nigerian with a PVC, if there's a way to give me like a record of it, I would really love that. Okay. 99.3, hello.
Hello, hi Sandra.
How are you? What's your name, ma'am?
I'm fine, thank you. My name is Shade.
Hi, Shade. Welcome.
Yes. So you asked the question: does NIMC have a case to question? Anyway, yes. The answer is yes. Yes. They have a case because they have a case, a big one. And the thing about it is that this feeds into some of the conspiracy theories out there with regard to Pantami, right? Okay. I mean, people hear this, they're like, they've been saying it. I think so. They've been saying it. Because first of all, yes, NIMC data needs to be audited. I think they need to make it public for people to know so we might have confidence in it. And someone like me that I didn't even want to put my name down till they block my number. Like now I'm like, you see, I have a case. I mean, I had a good, you're laughing.
I have a grouse. I had a reason.
I had a reason. This is it. This is the kind of thing that I'd be like, hey, I said it. I mean, no, it's really not good. And I hope they come out and they
clarify.
Not just try and, clarify, not just try to shift it under like we're all, I don't know, we're all Dumbos or something.
Yeah.
Gosh, can I retract my name? Oh, no, I can't.
No, you can't retract it. Sorry.
I can't think about this.
We have it. We have it. Shade, thank you for calling. On WhatsApp, we've got a few interesting messages, so let me take a look at some of them. CJ from Ikorodu says, Sandra, Niger is our cousin brothers now, so no issues if they support us in the elections. I see no difference between Niger and Nigeria than just two letters IA. Okay. We've got a message here. Hi Sandra, I'm not yet a citizen in Finland, but I can vote. In Europe, it depends on the type of permit that you have. In Nigeria's case, I think it's illegal. Okay, thank you very much. We've got a message here. The issue of NIMC officials, well, it's a long message and we have a break coming up. I'll come back from the break and I'll read this particular message. Now, second story, government says it's not an emergency yet.
Person supposed chop. Which kind of food? They say no test before you marry.
I go test. Even the day of my wedding, I go test before I go church. They just won't keep eating.
So I don't want to say about this section of it.
I will test before I buy.
Even if it is me, I will test you. Test again.
That food cost me one chop.
This one I read better talk.
Join us, Talk Better Talk, every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for 7 p.m. on Top Wazobia TV and Wazobia Max TV, UHF 57, DSTV 259, GoTV 98, and Star Times 195.
This is not public advert. Message stimulates the innovative and product transformation of Nigeria as the create a future of shared prosperity. 2023 and how the Black United International. We are big global stakeholders answering this pertinent question comes on number 20 and request.org/28.
The number one talk station is closer to you than ever.
Join the conversation online off the go.
We have info friendly on our user-friendly mobile app.
Live on YouTube, Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM.
And just at Nigeria Info FM Lagos
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
All right, back to that message I said I'll take from Gwenga. Gwenga says, the issue of NIMC official registering non-Nigerians is a non-issue to me because ever since I heard during Jonathan's Constitution conference that one emir said his territory extends beyond Nigeria to Niger and other surrounding countries. Since then, I have the full understanding of what Nigeria's problem is, and it will likely be in the future. More so, why it has been difficult to have national identity system in Nigeria, and why the insecurity in the north has been prolonged. All right, Wenga, thank you for your message. Now, for our second story, let me update you on the nationwide flooding that is devastating the country. It is one of the biggest stories in the world, Nigeria's flood. The federal government does not believe that a state of emergency is needed to deal with the nationwide flooding right now. We heard this from Suleiman Adamu, the Water Resources Minister. Let me play for you what he said. You can watch it live on our stream, Facebook Nigeria Info 99.3. But if you cannot watch, well, listen to him here.
Well, it's certainly an emergency situation. What do you mean by it? It all depends on what you mean by declaration of state of emergency. We have not reached a situation, in my view, where the relevant emergency management authorities are not being able to deal with this situation. I'm not aware that has happened. We have governments, we have federal government, we have state governments, we have state emergency management agencies and the federal emergency agency. And I think they have not in any way said that what they've been doing, they've been overwhelmed by it.
Now, remember that under a state of emergency, the federal government will be able to take direct control of more government operations at the state and local level. And Adamu doesn't believe that this is necessary right now because FEMA and other federal agencies have not complained that they need more power. He believes that the problems on ground can be handled if state governments and the federal agencies simply work together under the normal rules. Do you agree? And if you don't agree, do you believe that a state of emergency declaration would improve things? What I'm asking is, do you believe the federal government can handle this flood problem more competently as the sole decision maker? Meanwhile, the U.S. government has pledged $1 million worth of support. It's coming from U.S. aid. It's meant to help provide shelter, relief materials, hygiene kits to displaced flood victims, as well as cash. U.S. aid is worried about cholera because right now there's an outbreak in Yobe, in Adamawa, in Borno, and you know that cholera just loves water, especially if the water is stagnant and unsanitary. So this flood is a perfect storm for cholera, and that's why part of this U.S. aid money is to help improve hygiene conditions in the camps. That cholera point, it's really sad to see. Like these floods, it's really sad to see how these floods are making our health problems worse. And it's happening with animals too. I saw a poultry farmer on Twitter. His farm is in Bayelsa. He says that he was already dealing with bird flu and now it's worse because no medicines. In fact, I'm about to play you the video of this man's poultry on our live feed. Our live feed is Nigeria Info 99.3. Nigeria Info 99.3. You can see the video of his poultry for yourself.
So far, you are still other ones on the ground, you can see. We have a lot of problem here, and others are still dying even right now like this.
If you're looking at that video, you're seeing footage after footage after footage of like you're seeing like different pictures of numerous birds, just the chickens just dead on the floor. And he said that they were already dealing with bird flu, but now they can't even get access to medicine. They can't get access to food for their chickens. Most of Bayelsa is cut off from Nigeria by road because of the flood. And they can't even slaughter all the chickens and put them in cold rooms because a lot of the cold rooms in Bayelsa are submerged under the flood. So he can't get medicines in to save his birds. His plan B was to slaughter the healthy birds, keep them in a cold room, but cold room underwater. Drugs to keep his birds healthy, no cold room to preserve the birds that he kills, no plan A, no plan B. He's going to lose his entire stock. He says he's been selling them off to the locals for 500 naira, each of the old layers for 500 naira. But even now, locals are not buying again. So he's even trying to give away the birds for free in Bayelsa. It's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and you have so many stories like that. People are losing their livelihoods. People are out of work. Now, when US Aid first mentioned this money, Nigerians started to shout that they shouldn't give the money directly to the federal government too. They should go to the camps directly. Do you agree? And if you do agree, if you don't trust the federal government to handle $1 million in flood relief, do you trust that same federal government to operate a state of emergency on the flooding? 0700-993-993-993. I have to mention, by the way, one of the people who wants to run the federal government has been visiting flood victims. Yesterday, Pete Obi visited IDP camps in Benue State. Remember, he took permission from the governor, Samuel Otom, earlier in the week. He has also asked his opponents to suspend their campaigns and join him in the visits. We've not seen any response from his opponents yet, but at one of the camps, Obi pledged 5 million naira to help the victims. He also had really harsh words for the federal government's handling of the crisis. He said, quote, "The flood was not an accident. The federal government was forewarned but did not do the needful to mitigate it. It wasn't meant to happen. It was something the federal government could have controlled, but they failed to do the needful." End quote. So that's some of what's happening with the flood across Nigeria right now. Let me hear your thoughts. Do you think the federal government should declare a state of emergency, or do you think that they already have enough powers, enough resources to handle this thing if they're serious about handling this thing? And what do you think about the USAID's what's the word now? Pledge. What do you think about Obi's visit to the camps and his own pledge? Are there other private citizens doing things for the victims that you want to celebrate? What do you think about what they're doing, the work they're doing? And what do you think about this poultry farmer having to lose his stock to bird flu? Do you know other people like him that have been affected by this flood? Women call me on 01465-7190. Men call me on 0700-993-993. Obiama, good to have you on the show. Welcome.
Yeah, Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Sandra, what is the worth of a life, Nigeria life? 600 and something dead and still counting, no state of emergency declared. Sandra, last month when Florida had a hurricane.
The hurricane.
3 weeks before the arrival of the hurricane, Florida governor was on daily basis making announcements, educating people. 1 week before that time, he declared state of emergency. Florida National Guard was activated. Utility workers from 26 states were mobilized on ground. Tax was removed from grocery stores, like for essentials like battery, generators, those stuff you will need. Taxes were removed.
Right.
Toll gates were suspended free of charge so that people can get out.
Right.
IDP camps were set up with all the essentials needed. People were evacuated 3 days before the hurricane arrived.
Right.
Then after that, there were helicopters, sniff dogs, first responders were going door to door, knocking, still trying to find if people are still there. I'm talking before the hurricane happened.
Right.
You can see how people plan and prepare. In Nigeria, nothing happens. Then we have this flood. You cannot even declare state of emergency to move in and do what you need to do. I mean, I'm really sorry for people around there, honestly.
Obiama, thanks for joining us from Florida. 99.3, hello.
Hello, Sandra.
Good to have you on the show. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Ekaite.
Ekaite. Oh, welcome back.
Yes. About the flood. It breaks my heart because we don't have government. Supposing we have government, now they will go in there and help people. Look at what people are going. Look at that man losing all his entire business. How will he survive? How will he survive? What about those people that are not ready? This country, where are we heading to?
Ekaite, thanks for calling. We've got Mr. Collis on the line. Hi, Collis.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Where are you joining us from?
I'm calling you guys from Belgium.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, the issue is this. For me, I've come to conclusion that life has no value in Nigeria again.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, because with the issue of things that is going on in Nigeria, especially this flood, and this man is just, I don't know, I don't want to use foul language on air.
Thank you.
Just talking like a baby. How many people have died? And see people's houses inside water. And it's still, come on. You know, the other time I said we should fear God. It seems that we, both the Christians and the Muslims, we don't fear God. But we always talk about we fear just for mouth. We don't fear God because if that we fear God, such a man won't be vomiting such a rubbish that is vomiting out of his mouth. People are dying. Like this guy in Bayelsa. Who is going to pay him for the bed that are dead? And there's no assurance to cover him up. Come on. Look, Sandra, one thing I've come to conclusion in Nigeria, you are on your own.
Simeon, thank you very much for calling us. We've got Mr. Frank on the line. Hi, Mr. Frank. Are you there? All right, he's not there anymore. Call back if you can. Let me take a few messages from WhatsApp very quickly. We've got a message here. Where was Obi when people were murdered in Owo, Ondo State? I doubt if he traveled while squads are being killed on daily basis in Anambra. Enough of political appearance and work the work. Okay. Here's a message from Fred. Just last week, Rivers governor pledged 300 million naira to Lagos State. As at today, I've not seen Doyediri or Wike saying, hello, how can we help our affected victims? How do we move relief materials between ourselves? I love what this caller says about the state of Florida. Here, our governors want to be crying, oh, federal government. State governors must wake up. Our governors must wake up. The bird flu is actually affecting those that have already purchased the birds, and it's causing some consumer stomach flu. It's a sad situation for poultry owners. All right, Fred. Thank you for your message. Odogu from Satellite says UK government should pay, it's the US government with that money. US government should pay that 1 million to Peter Obi's account. He's the only credible politician that can diligently share that money to flood victims. If they give that money to Nigerian government, I am sorry. We've got a message from Kenny in Ojodu who says NIMC has to be questioned. There's a loophole among them. Those materials don't have legs to walk out. I saw the video of that poultry. Federal government has to declare state of emergency. Is it until the whole Nigeria is submerged with flood? What kind of government is this? They should not give the federal government that money or else it is gone. But again, if you say don't give federal government that money and you're telling federal government declare state of emergency, and remember that I said that the federal government declaring state of emergency would mean that they would have to step in and take direct control of more government operations at the state and local level. Do you think that they are going to be able to do that? Do you think a state of emergency declaration would actually improve things? Let me come back to the phone lines. 99.3, hello.
Hello, our able president ambassador.
Hello? Hello? Oh, that's unfortunate. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Good afternoon. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Sandra, hi. This is Alex. I'm in the market, but I insisted to myself that I must call you.
Alex from the market today. Welcome.
Yes. You see, yesterday I heard you when you introduced your show, and you said, we will not call you liars. And I said, because of that, I must call you. Please permit me to apologize sincerely from the bottom of my heart for trying to take some color away from your show by calling one of us in the family a liar. I am sincerely sorry.
No, that wasn't about you. That wasn't about you. That was
it's
about
guilty conscience, Sandra.
Oh God. That wasn't about you. No.
I'm sorry, but we'll trust you next time to call out those who don't give good information.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. So now let me say something about this. Data. I mean this NIMC
something. Mm-hmm.
That's why I always talk about data, Sandra. Let me tell you how this kind of things work.
Yeah.
There are always levels of authorization.
Okay.
Those kind of things, it's not like picking up your laptop and just filling in information. There are levels of authorizations which there are different levels that would have been involved if that whole process goes through completely.
Right.
I don't know if you understand.
I understand, yeah.
Yes, so that's why I always talk about data. All you need to do is call in every single person in the line of authority, and you solve the problem. These are the reasons why the government usually shies away from using science and data. Because they don't want to leave a trail, a digital footprint. And I'm telling you that all they need to do is check the line of authority, and you'll see who authorized or every single person along the line that authorized that thing.
Right, right.
Yes, I have
Okay.
to go now.
All right, Alex, thank you very much for calling. And no, my intro yesterday wasn't about you. It was about those who continue to deny that there was a massacre. All right, let me take you to our third story. For our third story, let's leave Africa. Let's go to the UK, where they're having their own drama. The Prime Minister is stepping down again. That's our third story. Liz Truss is the latest PM to fall on her sword, the fourth one since the vote for Brexit. And in her own words, here's why she's leaving.
Here she comes with her husband, Liz Truss, her husband alongside her. Let's listen in.
Can I hear?
I came into office at a time of great economic and international instability. Families and businesses were worried about how to pay their bills. Putin's illegal war in Ukraine threatens the security of our whole continent, and our country has been held back for too long by low economic growth. I was elected by the Conservative Party with a mandate to change this. We delivered on energy bills and on cutting national insurance. And we set out a vision for a low-tax, high-economic advantage of the freedoms of Brexit. I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party. This morning I met the chairman of the 1922 committee, Sir Graham Brady. We've agreed that there will be a leadership election to be completed within the next week. This will ensure that we remain on a path to deliver our fiscal plans and maintain our country's economic stability and national security. I will remain as Prime Minister until a successor has been chosen. Thank you.
Truss has broken the record for shortest serving British PM, 44 days. She's resigning basically because her mini budget failed. She lost control of her own party in parliament. When her party elected her, she promised to cut taxes, but in her mini budget, she didn't provide funding for those tax cuts. Because remember, if government doesn't want to borrow more, a tax cut is one place a tax cut in one place has to be matched by increased revenue in another place, right? And she failed to do that. Truss and Kwateng, her chancellor, they failed to do that. And now they're both gone. And that's just the immediate reason she's leaving. You know, some of the analysts say that there are broader reasons, you know, including Brexit. Ever since Brexit, the Conservative government has been unstable. Basically, without the EU, the Tories are unable to meet basic promises on the economy. And so the question to ask is, well, can they hold on to power? Can the Conservative Party hold on to power? Already, Labour Party says that the Tories have lost their mandate, that they should call for an early general election. But Truss has refused to do that. Instead, her party will hold a leadership election next week to choose her successor. So that's the situation in the UK. Have the Tories lost the moral mandate to hold power? Should they call a snap election? They should, but will they? No, I don't think they will. Why do you think 10 Downing Street now has a revolving door? Some people say it's colonization karma. 0700-993-993. Let's hear your thoughts on that story. You can tell us about the other stories as well. Our first story took you to Niger, where we had fake NIMC officials with real NIMC NIN registration machines registering Nigerians in Niger for NIN. And then I told you, I gave you the update on the flooding across Nigeria. We have Well, the federal government saying that this is not a situation for state of emergency yet. He's the Water Resources Minister, Suleiman Adamu. He says we never reach state of emergency yet, But again, do you even think that declaring a state of emergency would make a difference? So that's that. I also showed you the man who owns a poultry in Bayelsa, whose birds are currently dying as a result of bird flu, and he cannot get medication to take care of his birds. He can't even kill the healthy birds and put them in cold rooms because cold rooms are submerged under the flood at the moment. It's a terrible situation all over the country. The U.S. Through USAID has pledged $1 million in aid. Nigerians are saying, please make sure that those things don't go to the hands of the federal government. But if you don't trust that the federal government can handle aid, do you trust them to handle a state of emergency competently? And then you also have some candidates like Peter Obi, for instance, pledging 5 million naira, visiting IDPs in Benue State, calling on his opponents to stop campaigning and do what he's doing as well. So there's a lot happening as far as the floods are concerned. We're going to have a policy conversation about the flooding on Thursday at 5 o'clock. Don't miss it. But right now, let me come back to you on the phone lines. 99.3, hello.
Hello, our able president, Ambassador Sandra Ezekwesili. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Yes, my name remains Godwin, calling from Loshorolakwe.
Welcome, Godwin.
Thank you. The issue of NIM name registration from Niger. You know why I am not too surprised?
Why?
We've heard some time ago on several occasions whereby underage are being registered and voting in some parts of this country.
Okay.
All to make sure that they get a higher number.
Okay.
So under that window, the possibility of giving such opportunity so that they will equally increase in number, it is difficult to rule it out. So to me, it is not a new thing.
Okay, Godwin, thank you very much for calling. Let's go very quickly to you now. Hello, thank you for calling us.
Good afternoon, President Sandra.
Good afternoon, ma. What's your name?
Please, can I remain anonymous?
All right, sure, go ahead.
Now, President Sandra, do you remember that there was a time a governor from Niger was part of the campaign team
Yes.
of this present government?
Yes.
So, should we be surprised? Secondly, our government, whatever they benefit from disasters that happens to the citizens. So because of that, they find it difficult to declare any state of emergency.
All right, let's leave it at that. We have to take a break. When we come back from this break, I'll take messages from social media. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. You're listening to the Big Three Global Edition on Hard Facts. This is Nigeria Info 99.3. We are the nation's #1 station for talk. Don't go away.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Soldier, oh soldier, soldier, oh soldier. Na mama pikin be
Dreaming of becoming a professional screenwriter, video editor, an OAP, or a thriving entrepreneur in the music, cultural, and creative industries? Visit www.wazobia.academy to sign up for a training course that suits your interest and get trained online for highly subsidized fees by leading local and international experts. You could be eligible for an internship opportunity. You can access the training on your mobile phones without data right after the first download and study at your own pace. Wazobia Academy. Learn and lead. Terms and conditions apply.
Mall of Fame Nigeria presents Future Kids Competition and Awards 2022. Submit a creative and innovative advert video or skit about your school and country and win big at the Future Kids Oscar Awards, the first children's Oscars ever. To participate, go to www.mallofamenigeria.com.ng or call 090-614-85066. Competition is open to preschool, primary, and secondary schools. Proceeds from the Oscar Awards will support Autism Foundations. And remember, be epic.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Let's take a look at messages now on social media. Here is this one here. From Maya. Maya is in my 12. Maya says about this flood. The question we should ask is: Do we have a government, both federal and state? I stay in Maidan or Relay. We are affected by this flood at the moment. Yet, they give us they give us area to relocate to where they give us a lot to relocate to where exactly. No provision whatsoever. Will I pack my family under the bridge? What a shame. Helen in the US says, watching that video breaks my heart. I really pity that man. Who knows if he borrowed the capital for the business? The number of workers that he pays will now be jobless. He might not have insurance to cover his loss. The government failed to plan, and individuals also failed to plan. I pray that Nigeria will not happen to us in a bad way. We've got a message here from Kola who says, you need to clarify that the funds of the US is to be administered by international agency. Please tell the people. I didn't say it differently. We've got God's Power from Imota who says, frankly speaking, Nigeria doesn't care about its people. That's the government. They don't care about the people. They find it difficult to declare state of emergency on issues bothering the citizens, and this is very bad. All right. We've got a message here where it says, if our government can build railway to Niger and also buy vehicles for them, the NIN discovery is not a surprise to me. Okay. Henry from Ekpe says, Sandra, what has Issa Pantami said about this? Who knows what INEC registration have gone if INEC registrations have gone the same way? Hope people in Niger Republic won't be voting on election day. We've got a message here that says, I'm surprised about what we're talking about. We're all here when government introduced visa on arrival. You remember that some of our president's cousins are of Nigerian descent. The insincerity that is going on in this country is what is fueling the various agitations. Okay. Here's a message that from Kenny. Kenny Nakute says, before now, there had been rumors in previous elections on foreigners like Niger, Chad, etc. taking part in Nigeria's elections, but it has all been denied. This development has given credence to these rumors. Okay. This message says, listening to Sandra act surprised, this NIMC story makes me laugh. Also has surprise on the voter card issue. It's been happening for a long time, but let's continue to pretend that this is rare and act shocked. Adams says. Adams, if you have proof that this has been happening for a long time, can you come forward with it? It's not enough to say I don't feel I give you. I don't have proof that's been happening for a long time, which explains my shock. All right, we'll take a break now. Bring you the news at 4 o'clock, and after that, Agogo will bring you Public Square. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili on social media, Ezekwesili everywhere. On Monday at 5 o'clock, how has Sanwo-Olu's themes agenda worked out for the average Lagosian? We'll talk about that 5 o'clock, but of course we'll bring you the big weekend from 3 o'clock, all the big stories that broke this weekend, and then of course at 4 o'clock we'll bring you Madam Landlord. Have you ever been scammed while trying to buy land? Tell me that story on Monday at 4. Those were Hard Facts Lagos. Good night.
It's 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. And now the business news.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that
you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those. Those that need to be fired are fired.
It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not a